We have one of Sammy's new backdrops up. It is the butterfly wings. It sure is beautiful, isn't it? And when Sammy's here alone, she looks beautiful with it. I'm going to include some of those pictures because she takes such wonderful pictures. She is such a beautiful, beautiful dog. Yeah, she knows it, right? You know it? You're a beautiful girl. So today I'm going to talk about something involved in aging. I've got a friend who I hadn't seen her in a while, and she texted me finally and told me that she had fallen at Publix while shopping. And she is about 75 years old. Most of my friends are a little bit older than me. For whatever reason, I seem to have friends from 70 to 80s. I mean, I do have some younger friends as well, but I seem to know a lot of people in their 70s and even in their 80s. And so I hadn't talked to her in a while, and then I finally texted her again, and she said she was still healing from the fall. And I got to thinking, why in the world will she not use a cane? Steve and I had talked about this many times. You know, Sammy wants a treat for being on TV, for being on camera. She wants a treat because she's gotten spoiled when I take her pictures. But Steve and I have talked about this many times because we have noticed a lot of women who seem unsteady on their feet. Women fall more often than men, and we don't know why. Most medical studies were done on men because of the cost of the study. I think one theory was that it cost more because women were either pregnant or because of their hormonal changes each month. It was more challenging to study women, so men were studied more often. So I don't think they know why women may fall more often than men. But we do notice a lot more women who are unsteady. I have a friend who is, Steve's sister-in-law. She's turning 80 this year. And she has a cane, but she won't use it. She won't use it. And she used to walk through the neighborhood, and now she doesn't walk, and she actually ended up getting diabetes, probably from being sedentary. So I think I asked her why she won't use the cane, and I think she said it makes her look old, or she has pride, or she just didn't want to. But I thought logically, because I'm a very logical person, that people think by using a cane it would take away your independence. But actually, it would make you more independent because you would go out more often. By being unsteady on your feet and perhaps about to fall, you get the fear of falling and then you stay at home. Whereas if you take that cane with you, you would get more exercise and you'd be much healthier. So I just can think of case after case after case. In our last neighborhood, we had a neighbor who refused to use a cane. You could tell how unsteady she was. And then I've been talking to my children's old piano teacher who's now 88. She said she is using a cane now, but she said she spends more of the time looking for that cane than actually using it. I know quite a few women who need a cane and won't use it. And when we were at my niece's wedding, the groom's grandfather is 93, and he had a beautiful masculine cane. I believe it was black, and I didn't really study it closely, but I think it had maybe an animal or a gold and silver or gold. It looked very elegant and dressy and made him look very distinguished. And I thought, well, maybe women don't have these options. I know that they have a lot of flowered canes and bright, colorful canes, but maybe not an elegant cane. I don't know. But he looked very handsome and very nice with that cane. It kind of added to his look instead of taking away. And about 7 years ago, before I was diagnosed with sleep apnea, I got extremely dizzy without knowing what was wrong with me. And I was unbalanced, and I actually bought a cane because I didn't feel comfortable walking around, especially when I was working in schools, and they have huge parking lots, and you have a very long walk carrying a bag full of books and things, and I didn't feel comfortable, so I started using a cane. And of course everybody looked at me. I looked like I was about 40 at the time. because I weighed more and didn't have wrinkles. Once I lost weight, I got most of my wrinkles. But people looked at me and said, "Oh, did you twist an ankle?" I mean, they couldn't think that I felt unbalanced or steady. I didn't know what was wrong with me. I went to about at least 10 doctors that summer, and I wasn't diagnosed till close to Labor Day with sleep apnea. I actually scheduled the test myself just to rule it out because I could not figure out what was wrong with me. My biggest symptom was dizziness. It wasn't like the typical sleep apnea where you would fall asleep on the couch after a meal or always fall asleep and people always knew and you had a loud snore. I didn't fall asleep in front of people. I did find out later, Steve told me later that I have a snore, but he didn't tell me till after I went to get tested, whereas I had been telling him for years that he had a snore. I think I read that that's common, that the woman pushes her husband to go to the doctor, but the husband is so laid back and like, whatever. So, like I said, I used that cane. Once I got my CPAP and started using it, that dizziness feeling pretty much went away, and I quit using the cane. My cane is a foldable cane, so you could bring it in a bag if you're not dizzy when you first go, and then later if you feel dizzy, you can use it. Bright lights tend to bother me, and they throw off my balance and vision. So in shopping stores and like big box stores or Target in particular or Walmart, the glossy floor reflects the lights, and that bothers me quite a bit. I use a shopping cart there. I don't need to use a cane, but I'm able to use a shopping cart, but that light really irritates my vision. I heard that a lot of people it irritates. I went to eye doctor after eye doctor, and none of them could really help me with why the lights were irritating my vision, but they just said some people couldn't handle the lights and the fluorescent lights, and they also have those in schools, so that bothered me in schools as well. But overall, I'm a whole lot better, but I still have my cane, and I think if I need to use a cane, you know, why wouldn't you? I mean, I've known of so many people who have actually fallen, and you can actually die falling or just get a serious injury, like my friend who's still recovering a month later. And then as we age, I don't really understand why women or anybody in general doesn't want to acknowledge these aging issues. We would like to get our house age-proofed if we're going to stay here. We've already moved downstairs. That was one of our big changes. Our daughter was going to move in with us, and we moved downstairs to give her the upper floor, but by moving downstairs we moved to a tiny bedroom that actually improved our sleep because we took the TV out of the bedroom, and it drastically improved our sleep. We put in blackout curtains, and we just go in there to sleep and we get a much better night's sleep. So as you age and you want to age in place, you want to make these changes before you need the changes. I think once you hit 60, I think you should start preparing your home for those aging things, such as we know somebody who has a shower in the basement, and the stairs are old, steep, probably out of code today, and we were thinking, like, why don't they put a shower on the main level? But people tend to think like they don't, most people we know, or people in general, just won't acknowledge they're aging or that they have issues. Like why people won't use canes is because they think it makes them look old, or it makes them look older, or makes them lose their independence. Steve's mother, when she was alive, she fell frequently. Well, I don't know if it was frequently, but often enough, where she definitely needed a cane or a walker, and she did not use either. And I thought that was odd. Now, my father actually started falling in the end, and he never had a balance issue or anything, and I thought it was odd. Well, I did not know he had lung cancer, and I did not know that lung cancer typically does spread to your brain, and he had a tumor on his brain, and that's why he was falling. I just had no idea. I didn't know why he was falling, but he had a walker, but he refused to use it, and we would walk him. At the hospital, we'd help him walk up and down the hallways, and one doctor told me to stand behind him, and I was thinking, I didn't know the seriousness of it, really. I don't know what I would be able to do. If he fell, he'd just fall on top of me and probably hurt both of us. He probably shouldn't have been walking at all, but there wasn't a lot we could do. I don't understand why people would think it will make them look old to use a cane or walker. I mean, you could tell in their face and their body, and they're struggling to walk, that perhaps that may age you as well. So this has just been on my mind for a while, why people won't use canes as they need them. So when I researched it, it said that you need to have a doctor tell the person, because they won't listen to family members. They're stubborn and won't listen. And I don't know, falling is so dangerous. It's a huge medical cost, timely to repair. And I don't know if you ever feel the same again. If you fall and you break a bone or hurt a bone or get bruised. I did fall over the winter when I was walking so closely behind Steve, walking Sierra, and I was walking Sammy. And Steve passed a 4-inch root in the trail. And he didn't see it, and he managed to avoid it, but I came up upon it without seeing it because I was so close to it because it was a freezing cold day, and I tripped on that root. And I did not hurt initially for the first day, but I hurt for, I think, a month afterwards. My left side hurt from that fall. I didn't go to the doctor. They say most people don't go to the doctor or report falls, although you can have internal injuries or any number of things. So remember, falls are serious. If you need a cane, it's not going to aid you. It's not going to take away your independence, and it may give you more independence. Now, you do need to be careful. You need to use it correctly. It can cause more falls if you're not using it correctly. And if it's the wrong type of cane or not the right level, you should talk to your doctor about the correct cane, the correct height, and how to properly use it. So stay safe and check out our other videos. I don't know, what's up with Sammy today? She walked today in the 90 degrees and did very well. We just walked a short walk. We're trying to walk every day to get this energy out, and she seems to have a lot more energy still. So I don't know what's up with Sammy, but this butterfly background is beautiful. And I'm going to include those pictures right here.